getting into the city. I've tried busing. The 120 is actually a fine bus if you can get a spot.
You can get a spot.
The last spot, what is it, the last
here,
time?
right here.
Where they're like at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And if you're out 7,
standing.
you're standing until you're part of the swaying mass that's going to cause the rates of traffic. And then I have to grab another bus. On the best day, it takes me an hour and 15 minutes on the bus. I don't think that's fair or reasonable to think that on your best day coming home, we won't even get into that. 2.5 hours of your day away from your family, away from your lives, away from your community, that's too hard. So we need light rail now. We need more, not 3 years, not 12 years. But I think we need more express bus routes that serve major employers, P-dubs, and then the 3 employer in the state. And we have jobs at every run of experience and income level available on this main campus. And there's really no way for anybody in West Seattle and South Park to get there.
Even the C line, which is what I take.
Yeah.
And even the C line at 10 a.m. in the morning, I'm retired, so I take the
So it's full as
20
late
years
as 10
I took the bus.
It's still full at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 a.m. standing room only.
That's a crazy volume issue.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious what specific skills you learned to get through those barriers aside from part of getting in.
Yeah.
And that's making sure it's 20,000 sections that you're actually in the mechanics, the system that
I'm sure you can get started from the top.
So I'm curious what training you bring to that
Great question. I feel like 90% of the job as a city council member is to be connected to people, to be able to talk to people, to listen, to really bring in all the voices from all parts of this district and get those ideas. I don't win arguments by shouting. My background is in asking questions, learning, researching. You learn one of the basic rules of a journalist is go to the source, not just one source, but talk to people who know whether the issue is public safety. You want to talk to all the communities and find out what's your relationship with people. Can't base policies off single anecdotes of this. So I feel like my strength is connecting with people, talking to people, and really harnessing all the ideas and visions that are there. In person as much as possible. You asked part of my passion for running, and I'd say one of the biggest ones is access to your local officials. I mean, how often is somebody, I've lived in a number of other cities like Washington, D.C., which is a terrible example, but there is a reason. You don't know how to get them. You barely know how to contact people. And even if you do, you're not going to get the chance. So you just break down. And this isn't just about offering office hours. It's not just about saying, call and answer an email. And I will say, as a communication professional, I answer every email. No matter how out there, no matter what time of day it comes, I always insist on responding to people to be heard. Now, with that non sequitur, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, more than just office hours.
How do you reach them?
You need
How
to
do
be
you pull
setting
them
up
in?
a couple of days a week. You need to be setting up at a coffee shop. You need to be setting up in the evening hours too. Because for many of us, how frustrating is it when someone says, we're available for an appointment between 9 and 5.
Yeah, we work.
And I'm like, well, I leave for work at 7:15. I'm home at 5:45, so you have to take time. I think it's so important to meet people be available in their streets. You have a library, at a coffee shop, at a bar in the evening. Give people a chance after work to pop in, just casually meet you. Because having that face-to-face interaction, being connected, I think that's really empowering.
To tie into that, how effective or what have you seen has been the most effective thing you came out of when the mayor with the chief of police, hired a chief, and they walked Seattle streets? And they had assistants take them down people's comments. Have you seen any outtake in action?
I wouldn't say we've seen a lot of action in that, except for the very fact that we know that they are walking forward communities. That's the first step, is being out there. I was reading the bread all about it, and I want to see it closer to too, but I think having that you know that you can actually alert them and say, I'd like to show you a problem on my corner, I'd like to show you an issue on my street, and knowing they will come out and take notes, and hopefully somebody is looking at those notes and putting them to actual policy ideas.
I was at the candidate forum at Leroy UCC that win, and you showed a really deep understanding of the reasons for homelessness. Can you articulate what might you do, what solutions, low-income housing, what position are you taking?
Great question. One of my big projects, which, as I mentioned, programs like Fair Start, I'm a big believer in partnering with nonprofits in the community, people who already are activated, using their resources and expertise to really help people people that help them get back into society fully, not just by you're learning a real job skill, but you're actually help with job placement. To me, that's much more integrated than the top of the scale. Other issues are you have, even though rent control is a state issue currently, so we're talking about multiple layers of fixing. But I strongly support policies that will stop people from being evicted. All kinds of reasons, whether it's medical debt, raising the rent too much. We have to stop that. That's what we're doing. Let's say you live in my neighborhood of Delridge for 30 years. Your property value is going up around you over time. Could be enough to knock you out. Or you know what's your protection. You have to want people to come in and help support your community, which also people who have been there long to be protected, to feel like you've already valued a long-time member of the community. So I would say that rent control and protection for eviction mortgage issues like that is a great idea.
How about new sources of revenue to build low-income housing and true low-income housing?
True. I also love, and you have a policy about this.
It's not about me.
No,
We'd be interested to hear.
But I very much approve all these new developments, insisting that a pretty large share, whether it's 5, 10%, or 20%, are true low-income units.
True.
An article that's
not 80% or the average.
Yeah. I mean, true low-income, not just one bedroom, 1,400. How about a family to live in the heart of West Seattle, or some parts that actually live in there? And we're building all these units, we're watching them come up.
Yeah.
But what is the breakdown, and what are we? So some of it is low-income, but also rent control, which are somewhat different blocks. But the idea is you're giving people a chance to live. If we want to build an urban village where people can walk out of the house and go get groceries and work, they know how to live in their neighborhood.
I think that information about the new housing that's being built and how we have I think that's been disseminated enough. The only reason I found out I was trying to find a place for my sister-in-law and her husband because we moved out of the because they came back over here. And I just kind of stumbled across that they had a list of places from the city and went around and found it. But I mean, just total happenstance.
It needs to be spread more widely and
Evening.
better understood.
Evening. It's kind of warm.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you all? And I'm Phil. Tony.
Cinda.
Nice to meet you. Mark. Nice to meet you.
He's the young guy. He's the young guy. Eric.
Very nice to meet you.
We should have a list. Why don't we have a list? We should have a take notes kind of thing. We're like, who's that? Yeah. What's his name?
10 minutes to grab, relax for a second. Okay, so I was a high school physics teacher right out of college. Both my parents are physicists, so it's a family profession. Did that for a few years, and then I went to work for the National Science Foundation in the Division of Undergraduate Education. After that, I decided to go to law school. Thought I was going to become a patent attorney, and actually fell in love with criminal law. And started to work actually at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for a summer. Then I visited a friend of mine who was living in West Seattle. Started my third year in law school. Absolutely fell in love with West Seattle and literally finished my last final exam and ended up riding a truck. And the three of us moved from Manhattan, dropped one person off in Minnesota, the other two of us came out here. When I was out here, I actually ended up getting a job at Nintendo, which led to, I started my own video game company in Pioneer Square. We employed about 30 people for a couple of years, and that led to an 8-year detour into the video game industry.
Oh my gosh!
I actually ended up in Australia as the chief creative officer for a video game company down there, which was I was in our sister city, Melbourne, which was kind of cool. Then moved back here to West Seattle because I just missed the United States. Watching football games at 5:30 a.m. on Monday was my time. And when I got back here, I actually started to work for DeVry University for a year as their national curriculum manager for a video game and simulation programming bachelor's degree program. And then for that, I actually then volunteered for a public defender and fell in love with that job. And so for the last 10 years, I've been a public defender here in King County. I do some family law, immigration law, victims' rights advocacy, and I'm also a pro tem judge. So if other judges are out sick or on vacation, I replace them.
A Superior Court?
District Court, actually. King County District Court. And then actually last year I ran for King County District Court. You might have seen Give the Gavel to Towel around town.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the truth is, I realized last year that I could do a lot more for West Seattle on the council, but I also realized that the politicians in this town have an incredible habit of not pointing out the flaws of other politicians. They, build their little fiefdoms and they protect each other, and they don't want people coming in who are not the anointed people that are part of their crowd. And so that was another big reason why I decided to run this year. So that takes you to today.
What do you see as your pet issue?
Well, let's see. I mean, to be honest, the thing that really started this a little while ago was the tunnel. When they announced that the tunnel was going to be over time and over budget before it started, I shook my head. Yeah, I could have sworn there's a bidding process that eliminates that whole issue. And to be honest, it made me think, okay, well, here we go again. Here is, we don't have the ability to manage this. And then when I found out that the Seattle City Council signed off on the fact that most of the cost overruns are going to be borne by by the Seattle taxpayers, and now that we're 2+ years past the viaduct coming down, Bertha, who knows what's going to happen? We don't have Plan B, C, anything in place. So one of my biggest things is, depending on what happens with the Move Seattle levy, is to just focus on getting some answers for West Seattle, which is get light rail here a lot faster than 12 to 18 years.
Who's going to pay for that? How do you see paying that?
Well, I mean,
Property taxes.
Yes. So, all right. So I am. So on a tangential one, I am opposed to the levy happiness. When I found out recently that SDOT's budget is only 3% of the general fund, what that told me is they plan for the fact that they're incapable of balancing our own budget. And so every time they need to, they will just go out to the homeowners, to the business owners, and say, you can pay for everything. And luckily, we have an incredibly generous city where people, if it's reasonable, if it's transportation or education, people will pony up. But it's starting to get crazy. And it was funny, in April, for me, the idea that they did the one for the new emergency broadcast system to upgrade that for $270 million. Again, it's a reasonable thing. It's something you need, but the fact that they just find it so easy to go out and do this every time.
Those levies tend to be the tearjerker levies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it's, how could you say no to schools? How could you say no to children emergencies? And it's the same thing at the 11th hour. They're putting a $930 million levy on the table and saying, well, you can pass this or we just won't have buses. And I'm bothered by that because I asked Scott Cooper, in fact, what inefficiencies are you guys going to look at in SDOT to fix? Well, he gave me one good answer, which was when SDOT and city-like utilities, when they open up a street, they're going to make sure they do it at the same time. Okay, nice answer. But as far as looking at, do we have too many middle managers? Are there inefficiencies in the system that can be changed? Do we have older buses that are not as fuel efficient as they could be? Those answers were strikingly absent.
There doesn't seem to be, at least to my point of view, not as much transparency or accountability in where the money's going.
No.
There's none at all. It's just we're out of money. Here's a levy. Don't know what happened to the millions of dollars we have last year.
$4 billion budget. Okay, we're bringing in $4 billion. Yeah, but the problem is, when I asked this question, because for the last few months I'm going through candidates 101, kind of learn all how the city works. And what I've basically been told is the budget process is so obscure and so complicated that there really aren't any people that know the whole thing completely.
That's fine. We have people that are head of the departments report.
But the problem is, if you have no holistic understanding of how your city functions, then there's no. But the problem is, it's because it's kind of like the war on drugs that no particular unit wants to give up their money. So in the city, no department wants to say, oh yes, we've got some inefficiencies.
So how do you envision being able to get through all of that complexity and
So the first. So the first thing is that I have no allies downtown that I need to watch out for in terms of I don't want to make this person feel bad, so when I run for re-election, they're not going to deliver me the votes in their district. So part of it is the fact that I am a true outsider to this process. I am not one of the people who has friends that I need to specifically worry about how they're going to feel. That's a little part. The other part is I have a physics degree, I have a law degree, I've been an advocate for a very long time. I was a teacher. I'm a fairly intelligent guy, and I have a very good voice, and I am very friendly. And the whole part is, like, inefficiency drives me crazy, and unfairness drives me crazy. It's kind of why I'm a public defender and why I got an background in science. And when I go in there, I intend to have a very just realistic look at we need to find money in the places that money is being spent. And part of that is the overlap in all the departments. And the thing is, nobody in government right now is willing to say, well, these jobs need to be cut, this department needs to be smaller. Nobody wants to do that to anybody else. I have no fear of that. Because it's simple. There are 9 people that should be standing in the city, and one of them stands for West Seattle. And the great part now is I get to go and do that. I get to stand there quite loudly and say, this is what will work for West Seattle. Let's talk about it and let's come to an agreement. Plus, as Ellen is, sort of hint to, we're going to have new council members. We are going to have a new legislative body, a new government in this whole city. And all of us, I think all of the new people coming in feel the same way. Let's change that. Let's let people feel that we actually are running it for the people, not for ourselves. Well, so the big one is coming out, just being in the community all the time. I mean, so for the last 8 years, I've run a trivia and talent coach. I think it's about 100 people a week. And I like being out in the community. I like talking to people. I've loved it. I work for Rotary, and I raise money for the YMCA and the Morgan Junction Festival. But the biggest thing, I live here. Everybody can have my cell phone. If you want, it's already on all of my flyers. So everybody who wants it has it. Much to some people's chagrin. But the simple truth is, I'm accessible, and I like to talk to people, and I want to fix the town for everybody. I love West Seattle and Seattle, and I think it could be much better. I think we have all this unrealized potential, but I will be around, and I will always have an open ear. And unlike many people in the Seattle City government that I've seen blow up people,
What do you think is on the agenda, truly on the agenda of the next council?
So it's affordable housing. Yes, affordable housing and transportation. Those two things have to get fixed. And then dealing with the police and the sort of the balance between we want a safer public, but we want a more responsible police force. And one thing I will say, 10 years as a public defender, I know how to run it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It was very nice meeting you.
Tom.
Okay, time to switch tables.
Eric, I don't know. It's a Carl. Hi.
Okay, so I'm Chaz Redmond. I'm one of your I have the information if you want some.
You have a NASA pin.
That's because I'm a retired NASA manager. Okay.
It's to the background.
That's right. Yeah, just one household. We're good.
Rocket science.
I'm actually a public affairs manager.
Okay.
So that gives me the administrative wherewithal to manage complex projects, actually figure out budgets, accomplishments. For 32 years I worked for NASA, starting in Houston as a Skylab mission commentator, and then up in Washington working at headquarters, first for the Earth Science Directorate. So the cool thing is I was in Houston in 73 with Skylab. this small group of people who got to see the Earth live at the very dawn that we now have. And I can remember clearly in those giant computer rooms in those days talking about the fact that we knew that someday everybody would have this data and be live. So it's fun to actually be part of something like that. But anyway, I wound up being in Washington and wound up public affairs for space flight at one point. So I public affairs guy for the first challenge. So I had a significant disaster experience.
What brought you to Seattle?
Well, the super backstory is I got drafted, Penn State grad, journalism, got drafted, Fort Dix, Swanson, Jersey, Fort Lewis, Swampscott Steel Company, right? But fell in love with Seattle. Korea, came back, got out, came out here, worked for the Seattle PI. If you guys are old timers, the old Planet Building.
Oh yeah.
I worked there.
To that globe.
It was awesome, actually. And then, of course, Boeing bust, I got laid off because I had no network here. I kind of had to ideally back east. So that put me in touch with the Park Service, where I wound up working for Parks Outreach and Recreation Enhancement. This was like the greening years in America, right? So 73, 74. And I was always sending pictures from NASA, from Gemini Pictures of Earth, the Alaska Native Lands Act that just occurred. And we were looking for ways to show people that the planet was finite. So this is the Park Service pre-NASA. So I wound up working with some practical journals, monthly and weekly, municipal parks and state parks, and a couple of journals that were looking at the question of what should we do for natural resources, rice, preserve, regulate some of the arteries that I was the principal aggregator was should we allow snowmobile in the Austin in 1973.
Oh my.
Talk about, questions and problems that never go away.
So how long have you been in Seattle?
So I retired from NASA in 2002 after what amounted to a 55-year government career. And then having lived in Houston, having lived in D.C., and my wife and I having friends, and I having this sort of intermittent love affair for the Northwest, we looked where do we want to move, and we picked Seattle for a number of reasons. It's a fabulous place. And why was Seattle? Because the Green Line was going to and I was going to, be able to use public transit. When we moved from Houston to D.C., we moved in an area where the metro was going to be developed. And so 6 years later, when it at least passed where we live in the city, it was a lifestyle-changing activity for sure. We had 2 cars and not one because we were groceries or we were out of town. And so when we were moving out here, of course working for NASA, I got a lot of due diligence, so we had actually worked at a lot of things. But Link was in the doghouse in the early 2000s, and the Seattle Monorail Project was the new kid on the block.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I tuned into this place to live at a time when there was clearly that crossover. So we chose houses. We looked from Crown Hill basically all the way down to north, the entire Green Line. And to tell you the truth, as wonderful about it is the fact that it was so denuded. It was just striking. West Seattle, in addition to being bodacious in every respect, it was clearly the last haven left for what I would call reasonable prices. So we were fortunate.
What do you consider your pet issue?
My pet issue at this moment is transportation. We have been beat upon the brow for 6 years running now with the impact of the Alaska environment. Beyond that, I would say equity in general, distribution of resources amongst them between neighborhoods versus areas. I mean, granted, 40,000 new jobs is awesome. The demographics are not particularly in anybody's favor, so that needs to change a little bit. But the impact on I was lucky enough to live here, as I said, in the 70s. I remember what South Lake County used to look like. Okay? That is a complete makeover. So I'm right. So I think, to me, City Council is a well, having been an activist for 12 years, I sit in on council hearings, I go to some of the staffer briefings. I've worked with both Beth Goldberg, as budget director, and our current chief as budget director, because I'm the city neighborhood chair. Part of what the City Neighborhood Council does is we put on an annual or biannual budget show. So I understand how the budget is put together from an inside perspective. But in the sense that that is actually not that different from a federal government process. I have basically 32 years of administrative experience. The navigating the different council members. I think one of my strengths, frankly, is as a public affairs person for NASA, my role was to create absolutely nothing but positive impressions amongst the entire realm of organizations, congressmen, universities, foreign governments, private companies, state governments, congressmen's aides, citizens, schools, and so I've gotten very adept at being able to not diffuse, but basically put negatives in the crowd by themselves and really find the positives and then move forward from that. And I've been able to work with pretty much all of our council members over the last years, some project or another. It's funny, I have deliberately friended and not friended some council members because in the back of your mind you wonder, am I going to say something someday that that person may or may not take the wrong way? So there's a little bit of, deft maneuvering going on. But I'm pretty good at manipulating myself in a way that people find me, let's say, aggregating rather than pushing off the track. So as a council member, what I would seek would be all parties and preferably the two most didactically opposed so that I could understand the extremities of the differences and see if there was some realm that could be carved out that was less dramatic. Because there almost always is. One of the strengths I had at NASA was I was the guy working with both PETA and the American Association of Scientists. PETA, NASA does animal experiments, as do a lot of organizations. We do them ethically, but that doesn't mean that PETA can't not like you anyway. And then the Association of American Scientists did not like the fact that some of our deep space missions used compressed radioactive material in extreme casements, creating heat for thermoelectric generation. So those are nuclear devices. We did testing in white sand, literally blowing the crap out of it to prove that it wouldn't center them and it wouldn't create any kind of radiation. So one of the other secret skills I got is I know how to run a FEMA trailer. Because we had a FEMA trailer.
We may need them for earthquake.
Exactly. We had a FEMA trailer.
You got a hidden stash of them.
At the Kennedy Space Center. Every time, so Ulysses had radioisotopes, thermoelectric generators, Galileo, the Voyagers, the Vikings. So every single spacecraft that had one of those, we had a little FEMA trailer plugged into the FEMA network. And
Let's go back to your knowledge of budget. How about budgets and digging into where the waste is and
so
having
that's
accountability to how money is spent?
Exactly. One of the things that the City Neighborhood Council...
That can rub some people the wrong way.
It could. So the good thing is you could actually, as citizens, we could all get involved in that right now. So City Neighborhood Council's got a budget committee. In fact, Amanda K. Helmick is the chair of that, and she did not get her signature, so she's not a candidate, unfortunately. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a full budget, and then you look at things like SDOT. Just go through every single division of SDOT, you find every single line item, and price it out, and say, okay, if this is the cost of, let's say, a street pole replacement, break it down and show me. So yes, that is underway because there is money that we know. I don't know. You probably wouldn't want to call it slop, but there is considerable amount of room in every department's budget to do a lot of things, and we know that only because we have a bit of transparency into the Department of Neighborhood's budget. budget because those of us at City Neighborhood Council, even the City Department of Neighborhoods, as poor as they are, have a couple of mil here and there that they can apply. That's a department of less than 120 mil a year. So we know that there, yeah, so that is and actually, the good news is it's not just me, it's a lot of other candidates because we think we are stuffed.
Yeah. We need to find more money to pay for transportation and
not only that, we have a very well paid bureaucracy.
Okay. Gotta go. Thanks, Chaz. Meeting you.
All right, which is the next one?
All right. Lisa.
How's everybody doing?
Now I understand why your signs are all over Highland Park. You've got some neighbors that love you. They're knocking on doors. You guys came by my door on Saturday.
And you came by.
Right here, this neighborhood.
A week or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. I have to say, it's the most fun part. As well. So yeah, it's the most fun part of the campaign. Sure. Thanks. Thank you.
We already have one. We got this one. Okay, we already got it. That's right. Because we got one Saturday. All right. We got it. I don't want to waste your money.
I will save my swag.
There you go.
So, some of you know a little bit about me. I have lived here, like I said, for the last 15 years. My daughter here. For the last 17 years. I ran his 97 campaign.
She wasn't. That's so bittersweet. Yeah.
So yeah, the work I've been doing for him, as well as the work for Nick, has been very focused on helping people who don't know community organizer in local neighborhoods.
Was that for the city?
No, that was for two different organizations. One on the East Coast called Syracuse United Neighbors, and then another stint I used with Acorn, which is a national organization. And you basically work on getting folks together in neighborhoods who are not getting the attention of City Hall, whether or not it's the desire for better police services, and neighborhoods are often underserved place. Better code enforcement, like abandoned buildings, meaning Cordia, issues that I know we all have intimate interactions with, yes. And then when I came in to work for Nick, I also did work on sort of those same sorts of bread and butter issues. Of the things that I worked on that I feel most proud of, the passage of Paid City Safely, giving workers in the city access to paid leave when they're sick, we're one of only was passed, and now it's being replicated in other cities. There are 190,000 workers in the city at the time, and so 3 days out sick works out to it's really something. You hear stories about kids who have to spend nurses because moms have work. It had a health impact too. So, my office and amazing council member is really about those things. Trying to keep Seattle a fair place putting a hair voice on the doors is concerned about development, and how development is affecting the affordability of the city and the mobility of the city. they start acting like a better partner and maintaining accountability and fairness of
And how do you see that in your strategy?
So I think we're in a really special time right now because so many people are feeling these needs so acutely, and they're feeling it from a few different angles. From rents, they're feeling it from speculative redevelopment, they're feeling it from congestion and parking. So I really think the starting place is from a recognition that we have a shared, that the development community has a shared interest with us. They are building here because this is fantastic.
They're making money.
They're making money
on our
because
resources.
people want to live here. And so I would say that they have a self-interest in keeping this just like they want to stay. And I mean, from my perspective, where I've been for the last 17 years, I don't think the city's been a very good negotiator policy-wise. We can't
Much of anything.
we can't negotiate these projects individually one by one, but we can have better laws.
Be policy. It applies to everybody,
Exactly.
all developers.
Right. So laws like developer impact fees to pay for transportation infrastructure. What we're seeing here in West Seattle is our neighborhood plan was based on a transportation system that we don't have. And so the question is how are we going to pay for transportation, especially in the city.
And how are we ready for it?
Exactly. Well, like I said, developers.
Yeah.
They're basically what they are. Is the rest of the state authorizes jurisdictions to use them. So we've already got the authority according to Washington State. And there are 80 other jurisdictions in the state that use them. So basically, it's kind of a mini and we don't. Why?
Yeah,
Great question.
Because we're not good. As policymakers, they're not good negotiators. They buy into this line that we every time we talk about passing a law that makes developers pay, developers come out and they talk about how they have their projects will not pencil out if we ask them to do that. We need them to do that. And then they're going to go. And then they're going to go and they're going to go build someplace else.
Fine. Go someplace else. I'm sure there's a developer that will pay. Does want to come in.
It's time to plan. What to call it. Yes. Right?
Does that start at the mayor's office and come down to the city council?
The council is the legislative body. The council is the lawmaking body. The mayor proposes legislation. And in many cases, a bill like a developer impact bill would come from the executive first, and then the council would take her with it. But there's nothing, absolutely not. And so another similar policy that they're looking at to get more housing is building we already have incentive zoning. Incentive zoning says when developers take advantage of extra height, they have to either include affordable housing in their buildings or they have to pay into the flood. We don't have the jurisdiction to do what's called which basically says we're going at the same question in a different way, using the big corporations, and that is a policy that is coming purely down from the council. So hopefully the will be voting on that share.
So you work with the housing for 17 years, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It's good in that you know how it works, insider. And then you could be an insider, and it's the same old, It's not going to be the same old, same old.
Well, I don't think most people think that the issues that they works on are that's the first thing I would say. And the second thing I'd say is I've got a reputation for being the outside of business. I said that. That's what people refer to me as. And the reason why is because my focus is very much on trying to teach citizens how to be their own best advocates. So teaching people the nuts and bolts of how government works and how they can plug in, how they can mobilize their communities to make change. And that's from my foundation as being a one of the things that I'm interested in doing is seeing, it's not something that I have to go with, but I think we should be having at least one committee meeting. So there's council meetings every twice a month. Each committee meets twice a month. They meet at the chambers during the daytime.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get to that.
Right. So I think
I want to.
And we have some committees try to get out to the field a couple times a year. But I think it should be one meeting every year in the community. And then it's not something I want to spend a lot of resources on, but I'd also want to look at trying to maybe co-locate an office, a district office, like any other
Neighborhood service centers.
Co-locate the neighborhood service centers. Exactly. All we need is that, right?
You can use that.
Where is ours? Where is ours? It used to be in Delridge, but where?
Yeah,
I don't even know where it is anymore.
On Thistle, in the pool, the community St. Patrick's neighborhood service centers in there.
Okay. I needed to drop off my ballot. I didn't know where to get it.
So as it relates to the levy, I'm a strong
We're going to quit for the last time in 2 minutes.
Looking at renewing the existing levy at its existing rate, still trying to get to the $930 million, but not having it all come from taxpayers. Having that levy as a part of a diversified revenue approach, because otherwise people are just going to feel like the burden is all on the taxpayers, and they're looking at So I still,
if your house is assessed at $440,000.
So I still think we need to get to that number, but I don't think it should be. And the council's voting on that. We're looking at amendments tomorrow, Tuesday. And so we have strong feelings. We should contact the Pigeon.
Who heads that?
Thomas.
Okay.
And it's actually, because it's a levy, it's actually a Christian role. So everybody's on it. Okay. Guys,
Yeah, thank you.
need your support.
Best of luck.
I think I have one more table.
One more table? Right.
I've lost track. Seen Arturo.
You haven't seen 3 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not Arturo. That gentleman stopped doing it. And Brianna.
Yeah, but you're only getting one more table thing, but
Lisa
And Chaz.
Yeah, so Brianna might come to this table next.
All right, let's quit for the last time.
Oh, there's two more missing. Three more?
well, he would be 3, and then there's 2 others. So.
This young man.
Jody Rushmore. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
What's your background?
I am a project manager. I do software implementation for a locally headquartered software company.
You commute here to Bothell every day?
Yes, ma'am. West Seattle to Bothell every day. I'm fortunate enough, though, that I can shape my own schedule, so usually I'm on the road before 5 a.m., and there's no one on the road with me. It's all mine.
That's
Get
pretty
over
cool.
that bridge before 7. You're golden.
It's all good.
After 7.
Outside of that, it's a different story.
I don't imagine you're taking the bus either.
No bus riding to Bothell. Ma'am, absolutely not. I will tell you this, though. I grew up riding the bus. We didn't have a car in my family until my first car, actually, when I was 16 and a half years old. So the buses, my mom still rides the bus every single day, everywhere she goes. I talk to my mom.
And you hear about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell us what you know.
Absolutely.
What are you going to do about it? For your mom.
So I know that the rapid ride change and the taking away buses on Metro, I know that at least in my mom's neck of the woods, that wasn't a really successful play. They took away Metro capacity, they replaced it with the rapid ride. They told us that the rapid ride would be great. It's okay if you don't mind standing up or being shoulder to shoulder with folks. So we need some more bus stops, we need some more bus routes, and we need some more buses. And we need to figure that out as soon as possible. I will tell you that part of the MOVE levy that our mayor is touting is going to take a lane away from 35th Avenue. So while I am trying to put more buses on the road, I'm not sure how that's going to help us get off the island if they continue to take away road capacity. So should I be elected, that would be the kind of issue that I rally against. I don't believe in this time, I think that taking away capacity, whether it be parking or road capacity, I think frankly that's just a terrible idea.
What do you propose
What do I
to do to revenue, whatever, to counter that?
So, number one,
How are we going to pay for those additional buses?
so I think that the big part of bus riding, having ridden buses for the majority of my life, when I was pre-adult, one of the problems with buses is, if you've ridden a bus lately, it seems like every single time a new bus comes out, that is to say a new model bus, it seems like it has a little bit less room, a little bit more seats, a little bit less padding on the cushions. Last time I rode a bus was maybe 6 months ago, just a quick ride from Roxbury to downtown Seattle. The seat was uncomfortable, my butt hurt, I was super crowded in there. I think that we need to find ways to get people to want to ride the bus. So one of the things that I've been mulling over is free Wi-Fi on the buses. Number one, everybody loves Wi-Fi, and number two, we can get private industry to pay for it because they can use it to market in one way or another. To me, that seems like a no-brainer, no cost to us at all, and we can implement that tomorrow. Why
We
not?
expand it because there's already free Wi-Fi on the rapid transit. On the C line, the D line is already
Does it work?
Yes, it does.
Oh, what do you know?
I take the bus all the time.
I want free Wi-Fi on every single bus in the city, right? Because, and that's not the only thing. I think we need to find ingenuitive ways to get people on the bus. Another idea that I think would be a really cool way to get people on the bus, while we continue to let people build huge apartment buildings with no parking or very little parking, let's say to them, if you'd like to continue to get these sweetheart deals that you've been getting in terms of building, how about every new tenant that moves into your building gets a year bus pass as part of their moving in? We drive them to the bus, we use things like free Wi-Fi and things like that to keep them on the bus, right? We need to find ways to get people to want to ride the bus.
I think I worked downtown for 20 years and took the bus every day.
Yes, ma'am.
And the motivating factor was parking downtown was so exorbitantly expensive. I couldn't afford it. I took the bus.
Absolutely. I worked downtown before and had the same issue. I remember working downtown. One of my very first jobs, my exact first job out of high school, was downtown Seattle. I worked for a collection agency. And parking at this time, this is going to make me sound really old, parking at this time was $7 a day. And I remember thinking to myself, $7 a day times 20 work days a month, that's probably a quarter of my check at the time. So that's off the table no matter what. And so the scary part is, it's starting to be like that in West Seattle. Pretty soon you're not going to be able to find parking here. And what happens when you can't find parking? They're going to start charging us to park. So we
Stop
got to
shopping. We stop going places.
I think our days are numbered on the parking meters. Every other neighborhood in Seattle has parking meters except West Seattle.
We're going to have to find out a way to fix
I
it.
think our days are numbered on that.
I'll tell you, one of the cool things I think about my candidacy is a lot of folks seem to be very anti-development, which we can certainly understand because of the way that our community works. I have a little bit of a slant to that. I think that rather than being anti-development, I think we need to find a way to work with these folks, to make them feel like they're part of the community. These buildings that you're building, they're going to be part of our neighborhood for the rest of time. So why not work together? Let's use some of those incentives that we talked about before. You're getting killer tax breaks. You don't have to build parking everywhere. Let's work together so you can continue to do a profitable business developing in West Seattle. But at the same time, show us, give us a little something. Work for the community a little bit. Those are the types of conversations that I'd like to have. Should I be elected? I'll pursue those.
Yeah, high density urban living, very European, and been way over there for decades. But it seems that in Seattle, the cart is always before the horse. We have these great ideas, but they're not well thought out. We just rush into it and then run into roadblocks everywhere.
And I'll tell you something that speaks perfectly to that point. I've been attending ISTA, the Seattle Department of Transportation, and more often than not, one of the really, really cool things about this district race format that we have now is people that are making those decisions are not from the communities. So when you draw up a plan that says we're going to take away 1 lane of traffic on 35th Avenue and you live in Ballard, it doesn't mean anything to you. When you draw up a plan that says we're going to remove parking from an entire side of Admiral Way where the beach is, when you drop a plan like that, it doesn't mean anything to you because you live in Capitol Hill and you're dealing with your own issues. So by having someone from this community who knows this community, I was raised here. We went to Lafayette, Madison, West Seattle. I actually went to Chief Sealth for a couple years before I graduated from West Seattle. So I know this neighborhood. I've grown up here, and I think that having someone from our community to represent our community, I think is going to serve us very well. I'm super excited about the district race, and I really don't think that you can lose. You have a bunch of folks here who care about the community that are here. So I think West Seattle was a lot better in 2 years than it did 2 years ago. At least that's my opinion.
For me, when you spoke about the development and having them work with us, I agree with that. One of the things that I think the problem is that we try to set the problem up in advance, and then we say that we have these impact fees or whatever else. This is going to be a solution. What I really want to see is more impact metrics, that the solutions can be tweaked over time depending on how things roll out. So if traffic shifts over to another road, or traffic lights need to change, or the bus timing, or whatever it is, that's an impact metric that we're going to tweak that plan over time.
I love that idea. So part of what I think I bring to the table is, as a project manager who deals with software every day, my job is to help people leverage technology solutions to help them do something better, to make their work a little bit easier, to save money, to make more money, right? Every day I'm using technology, I'm helping folks to use technology to make that happen. There's certainly, in a city like ours, where technology plays such a key to every facet of our economy, there's certainly gains to be made by leveraging technology. Those are conversations that I want to have. I think by having someone who has a foot in that industry, I think that will also serve us well. You make a great point. We need to be agile enough to make changes. If this part of the neighborhood is very, very crowded today, we need to be able to address that. If things shift, if there's a need. Part of the thing about urban villages, I think it's a great idea, but I think what we've seen in West Seattle is an urban village sprouts up and then it turns into an urban city. So we need to find a way to move those resources around in a way that equitably serves all of our communities. And I think that's the tricky part, and I think that's where technology will play a big role.
Yeah, I just want that the developers, it's not like we're going to tag them one time and that's it. It's like if you're parking, like if you're able to develop without parking spaces and if you find that everybody's coming to visit or whatever else and they're actually parking there, then that plan didn't work. Now you've got to come up with something different, and this has got to change in such a way that has an impact.
I read some city paper today. I have a PowerPoint from Tom Rasmussen that I received from one of his aides about the move levy and then about some other things that they're talking about doing in 2030. This PowerPoint that I read, it was scary. The PowerPoint said that one of the main reasons why we've elected to allow people to build with little or no parking is because it will cause people to drive less. So I'm reading this, and frankly, I was flabbergasted. As I'm reading these words, I said, what? That doesn't make any sense. Absolutely. So we need somebody to get into these issues.
To defend the decision that they made.
Exactly.
Second to the cars, it was like, well, if we make it to where they don't have to build parking, then the apartments will be cheaper. What? How does that work? Every low-income cheapest rents in the city.
Yeah.
How could it possibly be that people who are in business to build things can't figure out a way to build parking efficiently?
Yeah.
Okay, candidates,
Those are some of the conversations we're having.